Okay, we're back for part two when we talked about um, relationship, who cheats more, and we're going to examine that, and we're going to talk about why. We already did that on part one. So originally we said men are called dogs, women are called sneaky, but who actually cheats more in modern relationships, and why do people cheat at all? So stay tuned. We have a nice, healthy, controversial debate coming up. So stay tuned.
Are you ready for some controversy? Yeah. Are you ready for some fun? Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready for some laughs? Yeah. Let's get unfiltered with Psycho 4081.
Hey, how you guys doing? I see we have a few extra people here. How you guys doing today?
We're doing fine.
Pretty good.
Okay. So last we discussed basically 5 things when it came to cheating, what constitutes cheating, who cheats more, men or women, and why. So we went over on the last episode. We went over what was it? Physical versus emotional cheating. Opportunity, does it change everything? Why men cheat, why women cheat, and then we talked about social media and direct messages, and it was pretty good. So we're gonna follow this one up with the double standard. We're gonna start with that. First of all, is there a double standard? Men get called get called players, right? Women often get labeled as well more harshly, put it that way. So is society still harder on women? And I'm going to start with the women on this one. Wirtz, you can go ahead with that one.
Is society harder on women when women cheat?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Why?
I
What makes
wanted
you
to go
think
back
that?
to your last one though. But
What-
women are always demonized. If a woman, men is normalized, but when a woman cheats, it's definitely demonized. She's like the worst,
I agree.
You agree?
the whore, the this, the that. Is and I think men's feelings are hurt more
Okay.
when a
When
woman
women
cheats
cheats.
on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody disagree with that or want to elaborate more on that one?
I want to elaborate on it.
Okay.
I think what she said is true as far as women are looked at. It's a double standard for women. But in my I guess my field of I don't know being involved in this situation, in my eyes, I hold women to a higher standard. So, and I think that's a lot of people too. You hold a woman to a higher standard because the word woman, you shy away from the other words like the nastier words for a woman, like a broad and stuff like that. You call them a woman or a lady, and that's like I said, a higher standard. So when they do this, it's kind of looked at weirdly. It's looked at in a bad light, which we shouldn't have that double standard for them. But this is why, in my opinion, that double standard is there for them, and they're held high in higher regards than us, because we looked at as what men are dogs
Mm-hmm.
when they relate us to animals. Women are cats because they're cunning.
Mm-hmm.
They're see things we don't see, do things we don't do. So yeah, unfairly, yeah, they are held to a higher standard.
Okay. Anybody here think that women are not judged more harshly when it comes to cheating? No? Okay. I would love to start some debate on that, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with you all on that one. And I think it goes back to what Mark said. They are held to a higher standard, but here's why. Here's in my opinion. I think when it comes to cheating, I think we automatically in society we think a man's going to do that anyway, whereas a woman has more power when it comes to that. They have the power to cut it off. They have the power to not make themselves accessible. Now, whether that's fair or not, that's another topic, I guess. But I think that's how society looks at it. We look at women have the power to cut it off, right from the beginning. Whereas a man is going to be, how they say, a man is going to be a man. and we could talk about all the reasons why, but I think that's the reasons. But now, talk about today. Today, are men now judged more publicly in this modern culture? Who wants to jump on that one?
I would say I don't think so. I think we're prejudged. I think the judgment doesn't come out right after whatever we do. I think it's expected of us. So I don't think that it's different. The judgment is going to be a little different. I think if we do it or whenever we do it, oh, that was expected. A man is, like you said, a man is going to be a man.
Okay.
So that's how I feel about it.
Anyone here think that men are judged more in public, in today's society? I do. I want to go on the record for this one. Okay. I do think that men are now judged more publicly, for these reasons. Look at some of the men in power or position that had to step down because they got caught cheating. When we're talking about politicians, we just had a politician in a congressman, I believe, from Texas that was forced, I guess, pressured to resign because he had an affair with an intern or one of his staff members. And then I think the whole thing that blew it up, I think she either committed suicide or attempted, whatever it was. We have people who are in sports teams that get criticized publicly. Singers, actors publicly get criticized and also, so-called canceled because they got caught cheating. Now you could talk about your favorite rapper or whatever, like say Rihanna and what's the other guy? What's Rihanna's husband or boyfriend's name? Is it
A$AP
Rocky? Okay.
A$AP Rocky.
Oh no, all right. I don't. Let me scratch that one. Not them. The other one, Cardi B and was it Offset?
Offset.
Stephon Diggs.
Offset and Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
So when these guys were caught cheating in the court of public opinion, it didn't go well for them. It didn't affect their job, but it's so many different examples where men had to step down because their infidelities were brought to public attention. So overall, I do think and that never happened before. It was never even brought up before because it was like, okay, so what?
I would like to push back on that one.
Okay.
Because when you say today, yeah, that's the case. But okay, now let's look at the political system, the current administration, and let's look at the current male politicians that have been caught having affairs, cheating, doing all types of things like that. But because men are considered to be, what you say, men are men, or it's a predisposed thing, in those instances it gets overlooked, as opposed to a woman who may engage in the same thing. They drag her through the mud, and I'll go back to the same scenario.
That's not an argument.
They drag Cardi B.
Wait, that's not an
drag
argument.
Cardi B through the mud.
Wait a minute, hold on. That's not
What's
the
that?
argument. Whether how
What's the
women are
argument?
treated. We already established that. We're talking about are men now, are they judged more publicly because of these indiscretions, entanglements, and all that other type stuff, right?
I don't think so. I
Right.
don't think so.
Now,
I think
go back to the presidential candidate. Matter of fact, you can go back to the 80s or whatever, but go back to I forgot the guy's name. He was from North Carolina. He ran as
I know who you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? When
Yeah.
when it became public that he had an affair on his wife, his campaign collapsed. Literally, like, collapsed. And you can go to and before, like I said, you can go back in the day, 70s, 60s, whatever. That people knew that was going on. They didn't care. They didn't bring that up in public. But let a man who has some type of power, notoriety, fame, whatever you want to call it, let that come up and is not treated the same as it was before. Even going back to Lionel Richie and Brenda Richie. He caught hell when it was found out that he, cheated on her.
And Lionel Richie.
Exactly. So I think maybe is the like I said, they probably wouldn't care too much about, somebody on my level. Nobody cares about that. But when you talk about a chief of police, a councilman, anybody along those lines, and we're going to eliminate the cult. We're not going to talk about the whole MAGA cult and all that nonsense. We're talking about normal.
If you eliminate the cult, then it's a different story. And also, it depends. It really depends on the shade. Saying
okay, so
let's call it what it is.
Call it. I'm glad. That's a good one. So you think now? This is for you. Do you think that race plays a part of that in who gets publicly judged?
Absolutely.
So okay. So
absolutely.
Okay. So a black man.
I think it's race and I think it's gender too, because you were talking about the politicians, the MAGA politicians, male and female were caught and of high positions. One of them, I'm not sure, I can't remember what her position was, but she just resigned. She was caught with one of the security guards. She was
that Marjorie?
Oh yeah.
Yes, with the security guard. Her stayed around a little bit longer than the vice president. He was caught before he ran for vice president, sleeping with, I don't know who, really doesn't matter at this point, but while he was married and having an outside child while he was married. Well, they swept that under the rug. The reason why it came back out is because he's a part of MAGA, and they have so much dirt that it was brought up by the Republican Party. But the average person wouldn't have known about him, but hers, they kept in the news a little longer.
Okay. So when we're talking about men in general being publicly criticized, all that stuff being brought up in the public compared to how it was, say, 15, 20 years ago, you think that it's they're judged more, and is it by race? Like do white men get a pass, whereas a black man gets that part of the stick?
Oh, absolutely.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Any examples?
We got time.
We got plenty of time.
I mean, okay. Let's talk about the athletes. Let's talk about the two. Let's talk about the Cardi B. Okay, let's talk about Offset, black man. Let's talk about Stephon Diggs, black man. Okay, so they was in the media. Boom, 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 boom. All that indiscretions and things like that, right? So there was, at the same time, there was instances of the other shade of having the same type of situations, and that was quietly put under the rug.
No trending topic, no nothing.
No, because the narrative. Listen, the narrative is because we're going to keep that in the hot topics. But the other situations, we're going to let those die down. We're not going to even mention that.
Okay. All right. So let me. So for you guys that are here, does anybody think that men are judged more publicly when it comes to infidelity? Besides myself. No, I'm going dolo on this one. Okay.
No, I agree with you. On that. Brian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of the people who are here, I'm going to make an assumption that everybody here is married or was married, except for I know Dimitri, you were never married, right? So
Never.
Now, some people argue that marriage prevents cheating, right? Others argue marriage creates boredom and resentment, which then leads to cheating. So the question is, are people cheating because commitment is harder now, or because expectations are unrealistic? Let's see. Who? I'm gonna go with. Let's go with Tiffany on this one. And again, the question was: are people cheating more, or are people cheating because commitment is harder now, or because expectations are unrealistic? And I guess it's a subjective thing. What do you consider unrealistic?
I don't think either one of those are the case. I think people cheat because they have poor character.
Okay, okay. So in commitment is not a factor. Expectation is not a factor. It's because they have poor character. Okay. So anybody think?
I disagree wholeheartedly on against that.
I
Okay,
couldn't get my phone off of mute, but yes, I believe that it is a product of poor
poor
character.
character. Okay, okay. Um. Well, can't argue that either. So, and I guess. All right. Let's somebody who thinks that people are cheating, and this is both women and men, because the commitment is harder now. And taking into consideration all the factors that we mentioned before, the accessibility, the technology, and of course, expectations, that people have. Anybody here think that it's harder now in a commitment?
Not, I don't think commitment is harder,
Mm-hmm.
but I will say that in relationships there are a lot of unrealistic expectations that you have to overcome.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Okay. So you're saying because the
Yes.
expectations are unrealistic. Now, anybody agree with that? Does it yes or no? Okay. Now, out of those expectations that you're saying that are unrealistic, give us some of those expectations that you say.
Financial expectations.
Okay, such
Um,
as
that that probably being number one where
the biggest.
where in a relationship one party expects another party to um um be the to take care of everything or to provide them with everything and based on that particular person not recognizing each other's situation.
Okay.
You can't make those generalized expectations without really understanding where everyone's at in their relationship or where everyone's at and how they think about
Okay. So
finances when it comes to relationships.
so unfair financial expectations. That's one.
Yes.
And was that it? That was unrealistic. Just the financial part.
I mean, there could be other fact minor factors, but that to me. I feel like that's one of the biggest ones
Okay.
from
So
what I've saw from what I see um, through social media and different podcasts and different things like that.
okay. Okay. Um, Dimitri, do you think that people cheat because being in a committed relationship is harder now, or because expectations are unrealistic, or something else? As Tiffany mentioned, character.
I think I'm gonna roll with the character because you know your character defines who you are when you first meet that person, and it's not somebody's. It's not their fault when they discover like either it's middle age or like middle way or halfway through it that you're not the person you thought they are, that they thought you were or you thought they are, and your character was you all along. I don't think. I think like I just think your character stays with you. You know what I mean?
So you're saying okay. So you're saying that right now. Have you ever done something that you regret or made a mistake or in hasty judgment, whatever, temporary emotional lack of judgment? Have you
Yeah,
done
of course,
something?
of
Okay,
course. Yeah,
so that means you're a person of poor character, right?
yeah.
So
No,
No.
hold on,
Okay.
hold on.
No,
I
no, no.
don't agree with
I'm
that.
saying, I don't. I'm saying, I agree with the poor character. Yes, like that's who you are. Like that's. I agree.
So
That's what it is. I ain't gonna say the expectations is. It's like a
unrealistic.
big. I think it's more the character.
Okay.
Like
So
the
Paul is saying that in any situation, if a person cheats, whether it be a one time thing that was vulnerable, whatever the situation is, he's saying that. I'm basically trying to, I guess, reiterate what you're saying is that you're saying that a person has poor character if that ever happens. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, it's always been in you.
Okay. Okay.
I
like
I
I
I
know
uh I
Tasha.
disagree with that.
I
Ta-
disagree.
Tasha. Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with. I'm
I
along with her. I
I
disagree with her.
agree. I disagree that it's just standing your character because character is something that evolves over time. And
Exactly.
I think that your character that you might have had when you were a child, a teenager, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, so forth and so on, it changes over time. It changes with maturity. Um, it changes through experiences and learning lessons from mistakes made. But I do think that character plays a part, but I don't think that it defines your character per se, those decisions.
I
But I
just
That's the point I
also
was trying to make.
believe,
I disagree to disagree
yeah,
because
I
I've seen situations where the characters stand all the way through the marriage,
So let
all the
me
way
so
through.
let
yeah,
me ask you
because
this. Let me ask you this
they
question.
may not change. I wanted to finish though.
Go
They
ahead.
may not change that. But one of the other parts that I wanted to say is I think it's also emotional immaturity. I think sometimes people get into marriages before they're ready for commitment or even understand what commitment means. Um, and I also wonder if it's considered to be cheating if one party tells the other party that it's over, even if they're still married.
Oh, that's a good
So
question.
then,
Let me
does
we're gonna
the
come back to that one because I want I want to examine that
yeah,
one.
because then, like, is it considered cheating? And then, is it how is it with character if a person is straightforward and say, "I'm done with you, it's over"? Then is it still considered to be cheating simply because you're still legally married? I guess
So would
it's
that
a lot
would
with
that
that. I think.
wouldn't that go under because commitment is harder now? Like
Well,
if you're
but
married and you say to the other person that it's over because obviously you guys have some type of issue. So would that would go under the category or that part I said is commitment is harder now.
I think
well,
commitment is tied. There's so many other things tied into the commitment. Now you can you can roll hard with somebody and be committed to somebody and stick with them, but their actions could cause you some financial problems, could like completely destroy your life. So financial, legal problems, everything else. So then you break that commitment to that person because of whatever it's doing that causes a big, issue in your life. So
Okay.
maybe it could be harder
Okay.
to remain committed.
So and I'm gonna ask you guys this because so I can eliminate this. Aside from Paul, does anybody think that marriages often have unrealistic expectations?
well, I have to say this. It's a couple things. I wanted to jump in before. I think well, I know you create your own expectations. So if it's unrealistic, that's on you and the other party. And the character part, your conduct determines your character. What you do determines who you are. It's up to that person to like. You have to almost say why. You can't. You gotta. You can't. leave out why somebody's cheating. A lot of people don't cheat because it's in them to cheat, or it's a man, you're a dog, or a woman, you're sneaky. In instances that I've been around people and know, people cheat because they're missing something. And most of the time, when you
Right.
cheat,
Right.
when you cheat, you're cheating other than what you have at home and what you have on the outside are totally two different things. So in your eyes, you're missing something or you're not getting something. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person.
So let me
You
ask you
could
something
have.
based on what you just said. So you don't think that a person will cheat because they're just greedy?
Oh, no, no, you have those people too, but
Okay.
it's just not two. It's just not one category. You have
Okay.
different
Right.
categories on why people cheat. A lot of people, you have the guy who's been married, I don't know, 15, 20 years, and he realized that it's his marriage has become a system. It's become robotic.
Hmm.
Not just a guy, but a woman. They come home, they have to cook, they clean, they get the kids ready, and there's no passion, there's no appreciation, and maybe that's something she's missing. Maybe she doesn't want to cheat. She just wants conversation. There's no conversation, and it leads down that road. That doesn't mean she has bad character. It means
Bad
she was
character.
looking
Right.
for something. It means she was looking for something she did not have at home or she once had. Same for the men.
Okay.
So, like I said, your character, your conduct determines your character. You can't do all good and be considered a bad person or whatever the case may be. It's all in your
And then
actions.
also, just like the young lady said, at 19, my character vice versus what my character is at 53 is vastly different based on experiences, mistakes, and wisdom. So, and emotional maturity. So, if someone cheats at any time or a particular time, it doesn't define them as they a person of poor character. No, they made a poor character decision at that time.
Ah, okay. So if I'm reading that right, um, if I'm hearing that right, you're saying that character is fluid. So
It evolves.
it
It
evolves.
evolves
So
based on based on
so that let's say this. Let's say you have a certain character at 20, and then you do something at 22, and then at 24 you're back. You got your character back, and something happens at 25. You're saying that your character can change. When you talk about, we're not talking about evolving. We're talking about change at different points of your life.
I believe your character can change based on the events, based on different things. I believe it. I believe it's fluid. I believe no one's defined by a particular character flaw moment. I
Okay.
mean, because if that was the case, we can all sit here and say, "Hey, you're a person of poor character." We can all say that to everyone.
So I'm gonna ask Tiffany this because she actually brought up the character part. Do you think that a person's character changes, and not whether it evolves, or is it can it change from day to day, or anybody? I don't know. Paul says, yay, he's on that one, but
I didn't say day to day. I didn't
well,
say
I mean, well,
day to
day to
day.
day, week to week, month to month, year to year, it doesn't matter. But all right, so and we'll come back to that, I guess. But I do want to go back to what Wirt said in regards to, is it cheating while you're in a committed relationship and you tell the person it's over? What do you say?
Depends on the actions of the
Okay,
person. If the person chooses not to go and you still carry on like it's a relationship, but a grumpy or disgruntled relationship, then it's cheating.
okay,
Cheating, in my eyes, cheating is defined by if you're doing something that you wouldn't ordinarily do in front of me, you're doing it behind my back.
okay,
So whatever you're doing behind my back or keeping from me, and we're together, that's cheating.
okay.
Maybe intimate conversations, dates, or what have you.
Now, does it
So
matter the status? Like, say, if you're married or
of course it does. Of
dating.
course it does. Yeah, I think it does because if you made a commitment to be with this person, it matters. You're breaking that commitment. So dating or being married, it's a commitment that you're breaking. So yeah, I think it matters.
Okay, does anybody have anything contrary to that? because he said basically, if you can't do it in front of me, regardless of what you said, if you can't do it in front of me, or make me aware of it, then it's cheating. Did that answer that question? Pretty much.
Again, I think that could be a setup, a
Or
legal setup. Like it goes deeper. That commitment part, breaking the commitment, the legal part of breaking the commitment versus the breaking the commitment and moving on with someone else. I think sometimes people may not, the only reason why they may not do something in front of that person that they, the only reason why they wouldn't do it in front of that person could be because of the repercussions of it, not because of it's over, but because of, say, financial or legal repercussions.
So in that case, would you say the cheating part is basically what you accept as cheating, not so much as, because we can go to the legal thing, and I know we have somebody who's a legal eagle here. So so you're saying that basically once you say the commitment is done, whether you get official breakup or an official divorce or whatever, once you say that the relationship is done emotionally, however, you're free to do whatever you want. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Not free necessarily, because again, there could be some legal consequences. So that's a hard call.
Okay. So all right, if you consider the
Legally,
legal
it would still
consequences,
be considered.
yeah, but if you consider the legal consequences, I'm pretty sure that if you're still married, now and I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm no attorney, but if you're still legally married and you're engaging outside that marriage, whether you're separated in home or separated outside the home, would that still be considered cheating?
I think it would still be considered cheating.
Okay.
But I guess the question would be about the character part of it.
Okay. So, well, when you talk about character could be something different. And I was informed that legally it's still adultery. So that answers that question. But when you talk about character, I think, it's not always a clear cut thing, because people have reasons, and you can go through somebody's mind. You can be traumatized by a certain thing, and that might be your way of getting out. It's still cheating. But character wise, you may in your mind cut people off and say, you know what, I need this for my peace of mind. I need this for my emotional safety, but also we're going to get into that next one, which is number 8. And this is the one I know this is going to be a biased opinion on this one, right? So we're going to talk about revenge cheating. And that's basically, you'll get that response. Well, you hurt me first, or, I wanted them to feel my pain. So the question to you guys, and I want everybody to answer this one, is revenge cheating understandable under certain circumstances, or is it just cowardly? And that goes for both men and women. So I'm going to start with Dimitri on this one.
I say it's understandable under certain circumstances, because if the person cheat and have a baby with that person, then that's understandable.
So
there you go.
Okay, so let me get this clear. You're saying if the person cheats on you and they go out there and have a baby on you, it's perfectly understandable for you to go get some revenge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
KFC welcomely. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's a certain situation. All right, Paul, what do you think? Is revenge cheating understandable or just cowardly?
I think it's cowardly. I think if someone cheated on me, I'm out. I'm done.
Okay.
It's all good. I'm done.
Okay, so let me put it this way.
Go back and
let me give you a scenario, because you said if somebody cheats on you, you're done. What if you cheated on the person and you found out, you apologize? Everybody's whatever, accepted. They didn't forget, but they forgave. And then you do it. Then what? Are you still out?
Hold on. They cheated on me.
They cheated on you. And
Hold on. They cheated on me.
Uh-huh. And then you
And then
cheated on them.
I forgave them.
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
They cheated on you.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I kind of messed up my thing. No, you cheated on them. They forgave you. Everything was fine and dandy. Then they cheated on you. Are you going to leave, like you just said?
Yeah.
After they forgave you for cheating.
They shouldn't have forgave me. My
See, this is why it's called unfiltered.
Hold on. Because my criteria and your criteria, see, that's what I'm saying. I would have respected them if they said, if I cheated on them and they said, Paul, I'm done, I'm out. I respect that. Okay, I get it. If I cheat on you and you forgive me, and then they cheat on me, hey, listen, my criteria and your criteria are different. I got it wrong.
Who said they forgave you though?
No, that's the scenario. That's the scenario.
That's the scenario.
Okay.
Right.
So my thing is
They forgave, but they didn't forget.
Correct.
Right, but if I cheat and they forgive me, okay, and then they didn't forget and they cheat, listen.
Now you have to forgive them.
No, that's not. So however you reconcile what you got going on, it's okay. My thing, I'm out, and it like I say, it ain't fair or not. I'm just saying that's how.
That's okay. Okay. So all right, since Wirtz chimed in there, revenge cheating, is that understandable? If you let's say now I'm gonna put you in a situation, you cheated on the guy, and then the guy found out, you guys talked about it, forgave you, whatever, and he goes out and cheats because you did it to him. Is that okay?
That's whack. I agree with Paul.
But you cheated.
Hey, things happen.
Okay.
Things happen.
Joy, I want to ask you that same question.
I'm going with things happen.
Things happen.
Because things do
That's
happen
right, Joy.
in circumstances and situations and emotional stuff people go through. You don't know where you're going to be at, but you hope it'll all work out somehow at the end of the day. Okay.
So all that happens and that person, yeah. So when we say understandable, we're saying, not saying justified, because that's subjective, but to the observer or yourself, would you say, okay, I understand why they did it. I don't agree with it. It's still wrong, but I understand.
I won't understand it all. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not going to be understood.
Understand.
Okay.
I understand why you did it.
Okay.
And that's why I'm leaving.
Let me. I would get Tiffany on. I would get Tiffany on this one because this is a I want another woman's perspective on this, and I'm gonna give you that scenario. You cheated, you got caught, y'all talked about it, and it's over with, and everything was okay. They didn't forget, but they forgave. Would it be okay? Would it be understandable or even justified if that person went out there and cheated on you because you did it to them? And that was for Tiffany.
No.
Under no circumstance.
Correct.
Okay. That was a cut and dry.
Brian, you know why I say that? Because then then you create this cycle of, well, you cheated, so I'm a cheat, and I understand, I forgive you. Okay, so I cheat again. The other person cheats. Oh, because you did it. So now what you creating this cycle, which is crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay. Now, me personally, I don't think.
But the man started it.
I don't think it doesn't matter who started, in my opinion. The fact that is the intent. If you did it because of revenge, then what do we have? If one person, let's say if the person that cheated on me and, and we're still together because it was forgiven, not forgotten, it was forgiven, then I'm just as wrong or even worse because I did it just out of pure revenge. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying I would still be wrong, and I don't think that could be justified or understandable in any any type of way. So, okay, no. Somebody mentioned earlier money and infidelity. I'm not sure who it was, but we talked about when wealth creates options, right? Financial stress destroys intimacy, and I think that's what Paul was leaning into as well. So, talk about rich people. Do you think rich people cheat because of temptation, and then poor people cheat because of instability? And we're talking about in regards to money. Let me ask. Let me go with Mark. If you still in there,
Yeah, I'm still here.
what do you think?
Um,
You think it's different?
I, yeah, poor people have many reasons to cheat. I think rich people cheat because of greed and lust. Um, they have everything else. Um, Most of the time, they have everything else. The truly rich or the wealthy. Most of the time, they have everything else except compassion. So a lot of that is just because of lust and greed. They want more. It's always more that they want. They take care of their homes most of the time, but they just want more. You see it with you guys talked about Cardi B and all these other entertainers. If you look at it, most of them never leave their wives. It's the wives leaving them. So they're cheating because out of greed and lust. They're still taking care of their homes. So, and poor people, I think we cheat. There's many different reasons. We make the best of all our situations, so we can be at the bottom, and it looks like we're rich. We can cheat because of there's no passion, there's no communication. It's many different things. I would only cheat if I'm missing something, and the person's not hearing me. The person refuses to go.
Okay, so
That
is does anybody think that there's a, and I know Mark said his part, but does anybody think that rich people cheat for different reasons or different circumstances versus somebody who's poor? Anybody?
What was that?
Does anybody think that rich people cheat for different reasons or because their circumstances different versus a poor
Yes.
person, or is it the same
Yes.
regardless of your financial status?
Yes. No, it's different reasons.
It's different. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that I think it's the same. Let's say it starts on that same baseline. But when you have money, you have, and money is power. When you have that, I think you have more access to people, and sometimes I think you have mentally you have a sense of power when it comes to that you can do what you want because you have this money,
Yes.
and maybe even your consequences are less. And
Yes.
yeah, so I think we all have different reasons, even influenced by our economic status. But I think the things are the same. And when it comes to financial stress, going back to what you said, Paul, yeah, it can. I believe it can destroy intimacy. If one person, and I'm going on the man's part, but man is not feeling up to par when it comes to the finances, and that whole pressure's on them, you're not gonna be in a state of mind to perform or even want to perform. So I do think
Absolutely.
that stress can destroy intimacy. I can't speak on a woman's side. Maybe the three women here can speak on that. No women.
Did you say that the stress can destroy intimacy?
Yes, on your part.
Yes, definitely.
I'm sorry.
I didn't.
What are you
Okay.
what are you asking for a woman's opinion on?
So financial stress, does it in your side, like, does it destroy intimacy on your part?
Yes, that's possible.
Okay.
But also, I think that there's a difference between intimacy and desire. Intimacy is between two people, right? Desire is your own personal thing. And so I think that stress, whether it's financial or otherwise, affects both of those things.
Okay. Now that's one thing I would never have thought, and because really I've never thought about the woman's financial issues to affect them when it comes to intimacy, any of that. So I guess that's new to me. It's something I learned today, I guess. So now this is the heated topic right here. This is the one I think we're going to get the most heat from. Question: Are humans biologically built for one partner forever? That's my first question, and I want to go and I want you to think about this before you say it. Whether it be from emotions or an intellectual part. Are humans biologically built for one partner forever? Let's go with Dimitri on this one.
No, because in the Bible, Abraham had many sons. No, I don't think was for one partner forever.
Yeah. Now we're talking biologically, not religiously, spiritually. We're talking about biologically.
Biologically, no,
Okay. Why?
because God gifted a man to have many seeds and produce.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know,
I will buy that. Valid. Now let's go to Wirtz. Do you think humans are biologically built for one partner forever? Biologically,
Biologically,
yes.
no, I think it's a choice.
Okay. And why do you say it's a choice?
I think that humans have desires. Um, and I think that it's a choice on whether or not humans, male or female, move forward on those desires. Just biologically, I think that, we have things or people that we look at and may lust over, and we make decisions that we're not going to go that route.
Okay. Okay. Paul, what do you say?
I agree, and the reason why I agree is because biologically, anatomically, physically, mentally, I don't believe that humans are really designed to be with one person. I believe that society has conditioned us over the years to accept that narrative and accept that theory.
So you say male
And
and females.
yes,
Okay.
and I just believe because we are a conforming society that over years we've been conditioned by family, environment, legal structure that's been put in place that we are conforming people environment, and we have conformed to these ideas.
Okay. 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 Does anybody disagree? So we have people saying that they are not. Well, Dimitri said they are not, right? Word said they are not biologically built for one partner. Does anybody think
right?
that they are built for one partner biologically? Okay, that was easy. I'm going to say, all right, so let me give you
Here
my,
you go.
yeah, it's coming. All right. So, and I'm speaking biologically. I'm not talking about culturally. I'm not speaking religiously. I'm speaking biologically. I think that humans are conditioned to be with one person. Let me retract that. Females,
Mm-mm.
and I'm going to say females because we're talking biologically. So for those who say, "Oh, say females, say women," I'm talking females. Human females are biologically built for one partner forever. and men are not. So, and let me give you the
Is
reason.
that what y'all want to believe?
No, I don't care what they are saying. This is what I'm saying, and I'm saying biologically, and I'm removing all the religion, the culture, the society, that how things were built up. I'm saying this: if you look at the human body and how we developed as humans over the 10,000 years, it was more or less a biological development, not so much as a religious development. It's not so much of intellectual development. Like people said, well, I'm a woman, you're a man, and just because you have a penis, you're different. No, we do. We're built differently for a reason. We are built differently. We lasted out other humanoids for a reason. And if we had not been built a certain way, this particular species of Homo sapien would not have outlasted the other humanoids that was running around on this earth back then. Because had we been monogamous, the human species would have died out for a number of reasons. High infant mortality rates, disease, warfare, famine, whatever. So because we were not like that is the reason why we survived over the other humanoids that was walking around this earth. So that is my biological answer for why men are not built for one person, but women are. Fight me.
I can co-sign that. I can co-sign that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with that.
So now we're talking about monogamy, and does anybody think that monogamy is natural? Anybody? Okay. So is cheating inevitable for some people since it's not natural?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Why?
It's the key word is for some people.
For some people. Okay.
Because once again, like I stated before, for the most part, we are a conforming society.
Okay.
And those who may not be in a conforming mindset, monogamy is a restrictive practice. And that's what I believe.
Okay.
Inevitable that they
for some
will
people.
end up.
So does anybody think that cheating in general is simply a lack of discipline? Does anybody think that? Okay.
Yes, I think that. I do. No. I do.
Yeah, I agree.
do.
I mean, among other things, I think that's part of it. Yes.
Okay. So, all right, let's go with Tiffany. Unmute yourself. So you say cheating is simply a lack of discipline amongst other things. Why?
Correct.
Why is it a lack of discipline? And that's kind of like, I guess that's an easy question, but why is it a lack of discipline?
Because it's an inability to exercise self-restraint.
Okay. That's pretty cut and dry.
Mhm.
Anybody who disagrees with that, and I agree that's exactly what
I
it is. It's a
agree with
lack of
that.
discipline. And
There's reasons for it, that lack of discipline, but I definitely agree with that.
okay. So
It's still
going back to
lack of discipline.
my prior question though, and I'm a conclude this episode on that one. When we talked about cheating is inevitable for some people, and Paul mentioned that we are a conforming society, is it because that those people do not have the discipline to conform against their natural instincts? Did I confuse anybody?
That could be one of as well as not sure what you want, or you may know it's many things. You may know what you want. You may want a lot of things, and sometimes you settle for something. We'll settle for. I don't want to compare a woman to a car. No disrespect, women, but I hold cars in high regard. This is the best way for me to get out my explanation. If you want a car with a fully loaded car, a car that speaks to you, sometimes we settle for a car, your money situation or whatever the situation is, you may get something that's close to you. You get what you can and not what you want. And then later on down the line, you see something that you want. It's a lot more qualities, a lot more features This woman is a little more educated. This woman is what you thought you wanted before, but you didn't have. That goes into that, not restraining yourself, not knowing what you want, being immature sometimes. Well, a lot of the times, and staying too long. I was told by my cousin, guys get caught cheating because you stay too long. We're creatures of habit, and women
Okay.
are creatures of emotion. So we tend to stay too long and get ourselves in trouble. So a lot of that it can be chalked up to immaturity and not knowing
Yeah,
what you want.
I can co-sign to everything that you said in
yeah,
every point that you brought up. It I think it is a lack of maturity when it comes to that lack of emotional maturity, a lack of discipline. Sometimes we do stay so too long, and we don't have the emotional maturity
yes.
to rectify a situation, or we don't have the discipline to actually work it out. For whatever reason. So I
I
do agree
want to
with
take.
that.
I
Go ahead.
want to. I want to piggyback on that real
Okay.
quick. It is a form of lack of discipline, but then we got to go back to once again. We said emotional maturity, staying too long, lack of discipline. Who sets the barometer and criteria for what is the lack of discipline? The conforming society. So you have to take those factors into account. You know, um, I mean, it is a form of lack of self discipline, but you also got to look at who institutes these things, who puts these measures or these foundational theories in place.
Okay.
That's just
Okay.
that's just my
I,
thought.
I, I, I think I can agree with that without too much debate. But this was interesting, especially when that one. We're going to actually have another episode when it comes to monogamy, polygamy, and all that other type stuff. It was um, uh, in the different dynamics, and we're going to have somebody who actually lives it. It's going to talk about it. So that's good. I'm just for future reference. Now, um, we're going to go into we're going to actually end this one because time, whatever. But I'm going to thank you guys for coming in, and stay tuned for part 3. So it's going to be 3-part. Obviously, it's going to be published on a Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if you can hang with us for part 3, then hang with us. If not, I understand. But we will see you with the next episode.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Unfiltered with Psycho 4081. Big respect to our guests for keeping it real, and love to every listener rocking with us week after week. This conversation ain't over yet. Stay locked in for the next episode coming soon. Until next time, keep it unfiltered with Psycho 4081. Thank y'all for tuning into another episode of Unfiltered with Psycho 4081. Big respect to our guests for keeping it real, and love to every listener rocking with us week after week. This conversation ain't over yet. Stay locked in for the next episode coming soon. Until next time, keep it unfiltered with Psycho 4081.